Come on, please. Please. Come on, give me that fix. Give me that fix. Actually, I have to turn the game on. I forgot there's a football game.
Right. What are we looking for here? We just want to see who survives this game. Detroit's playing this game like it matters, even though it doesn't.
Yeah, I'm hoping old Danny boy plays all of his starters. I don't know what he's thinking.
Most of us don't know what he's thinking at any given time.
This game means absolutely nothing to Detroit.
Right.
Yeah, it does.
What?
Once I get going, I will let you know.
Okay.
I think that's the Dan Campbell approach
right.
as well.
Hello and welcome to this thing we call Minnesota Foul Play-by-Play, where we provide colorful commentary on Minnesota sports and the cheats, cheap shots, and alleged criminals in sports. I'm joined by our attorney on retainer, Michael Haas, and his brother, Bradley A. Haas. Bradley, you sound like shit. How's your bod?
It's doing good.
What's the dog getting into?
Just being a fuck bag.
What's he eating today? That isn't dog food.
He brought up a full pack of nerd clusters that I got.
If the Niners upset Detroit, then we're feeling really good about next week.
I'm feeling really good if I don't ask. I think that's such bullshit when you root for like people to get hurt, because it's like I do want to see the best teams play, but like they lost one of their offensive playmakers. I mean, their defense is riddled with injury, to say the least.
Well, they haven't played a harder schedule than us, have they?
They played the same exact.
Well, despite them, they would have taken the same exact. Couldn't be the same exact.
They actually played They played the Bills.
Yeah, we didn't get them.
I mean, we played the Niners though
The
when
Rams.
they were closer to full strength.
Well, without McCaffrey though, who is still out. Is he back? Is he going to ever play again? Yeah, it's wild.
Okay, so here's what this means. This game does mean something. If they lose,
it's a tie next week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Bold prediction right out of the gate. Bold prediction.
Hot take.
If the Vikings win next week, the Minnesota Vikings go to the Super Bowl.
That's not that hot a take.
That's a pretty hot take.
I don't know. They get to host the NFC Championship game if they get.
That's what I'm saying.
One win in the playoffs.
They will be able to get off the ball quicker, being at home than being on the road.
Tough place to play, as Booger McFarland said. Even though he's never played there.
Yeah, Judd on Mackey and Judd made the same hot take that if they beat Detroit, they're going to be in the Super Bowl.
Wow.
It's fun.
Everybody's suddenly talking about us. They've gone
these are
16 weeks without saying a fucking word.
Judd and Mackey, those are Vikings dudes, though.
Yeah.
They've been high on
Purple Daily.
They're homers.
Not Mackey's more of a homer. Judd's been more I guess even keel this year. Always like it's got to be the other shoe's got to drop eventually.
Is either of them a pessimist on the scale of me?
No, they don't.
That was a resounding no.
Well, no, I don't think anybody.
There's nobody on the planet that's a pessimist like you.
I don't even know if that's pessimism. I would just call it negativity.
It's not negativity. It's realism. It's reality. It's been the reality of every Vikings fan throughout existence.
What's funny though is on all the cable shows this morning, nobody's talking about the Vikings really. That was
surprising to me because I thought they would lead every talk show and they'd be the talk of the town because it wasn't even a close game. Like it was close only in score.
Let me guess. Stephen A. Smith still talking about the Cowboys.
He did finally put him on his Stephen A.'s list.
He wasn't on
a week before the game.
No, I don't understand how last night's game was the game of the week. And the Packers are a very good team. Like I'm not taking anything away from the Packers.
It looked like Jordan Love really struggled with Brian Flores' defense early in that game. Struggled to read it, struggled to make throws against it. And I wonder if that's just because in the moments where he's trying to throw the ball, they're in zone coverage, so they're just trying to guess an open area. And so he's throwing to what he thinks the open area is, and the wide receiver's going to what he thinks is the open area is. I don't know. But he looked terrible until the fourth quarter. He didn't have 100 yards passing, for Christ's sake.
No, and you could tell the Vikings defense was way different in the fourth quarter. I mean, it
gets figured out, and it's really good when they're leading. And when they're behind, I don't know how great it is, but it keeps them in games.
I think part of our problem, though, is I think we get a little too overcritical sometimes on the Minnesota Vikings. Like I said, the Packers are a good team. They're going to make adjustments during the game.
And they sure did in that fourth quarter, and they did in the first game, too.
And what we're seeing, though, is, yes, it gets stressful. It's bad on your heart watching the Vikings a lot of the times, but they're putting themselves in positions to come out on top. I mean, even if they give up a big lead or whatever, it
was 17 points with 8 minutes to play?
Yeah.
Something like that. And it was 2 points with 2 minutes to play.
But to think that Sam Darnold threw the ball 44 times last night, you would think that would be like in a losing effort or coming back from, which he
threw in the final drive too. He was throwing the ball when you would expect run plays to make the clock run, and it was short passes that we've all been talking about all season long. We want the ball out of his hands quickly more often. Throws that he doesn't even have to think about.
Well, in the plays they were dialing up were like out of control though. Like passes 10, 15 yards down the field and stuff like that. In the later game, it's like, what are you doing? Like, I liked at the end the little dump off pass to
screen to the veteran fullback. Yes, you love that play all the time.
God, this fucking dog.
Chiefy.
No, I think Darnold's got a little bit of like Brett Favre in him, where it's just that it comes off sometimes sometimes it is a little reckless, but he is always looking for like a dagger, just to kill the other team downfield, as opposed to thrown
into double coverage for that one interception. That was
a mistake. I mean,
once he plays at 20 yards or more,
high enough, it could be caught. Like he could have got it over the defenders. He just misplaced it a little bit. He underthrew a couple balls. Addison, he underthrew for a touchdown in the end zone.
He should have had that though.
Yeah, he could have caught it, but he had all the rest of the back of the end zone to throw that ball. And you can get it. He can get it there. I mean, he's got a chooch for an arm.
I think, you bringing up the play calling, something I wanted to discuss was like how you feel about the offensive line, because when I watched the game yesterday, it's such a weird offensive line. Like passing wise, I'm going to give them their flowers.
Yeah,
they give him
I would agree.
From time to work. Pass coverage, pass blocking appears great. It's
pretty sound,
A run game though, like that's what I think. Like I don't know if I can blame O'Connell. It's God, when we should be running clock and running the ball, it's like I just don't know if our offensive line can create anything.
Right. He believes more in his ability to run that clock through passing plays than he does through running plays. Those wide receiver screens, screens in general. Well, at least that seems to be the case.
Yeah.
So that's why Sam Darnold's going to be our quarterback next year.
Also, Aaron Jones was stepped on early in that game and
I was going to say that he was just starting to find his rhythm, was busting off a couple decent runs and got stepped on, and then after that they kind of went away from
it up almost evenly. It was 12 carries for Jones for 47 yards along a 13. Akers had 6 carries for 18 yards. Long as 16. How the hell? Cam Akers did not run the ball very effectively except that one time. Ty Chandler even had 5 carries for 7 yards. So, behind Jones, the depth chart is not good.
But, Brad does bring up a good point, though. And we should devote a bunch of time talking about it. Is Darnold the QB of the future for the Vikings? And what's that going to cost the Vikings? Because, I'm starting. I read that piece. It was a good piece. I'm starting to wonder if them signing Darnold, if maybe drafting McCarthy was like a backup plan. where it's like, because Darnold does everything O'Connell wants him and needs. Like, he runs the O'Connell offense. O'Connell wants to take deep shots.
Yeah.
He wants to,
stand in the pocket, and he wants to let her loose.
Exactly. And I cannot disagree. Like, Sam Darnold, when you talk about his arm strength, those passes across the middle, like 15, 20 yards, he's better at throwing the ball mid-range than he is short range. Like, it's insane. He's more accurate mid-range and long range than he is short range, too.
Yeah, 60 completions over 20 yards leads the NFL. Did I not say that, though, in the offseason when we signed Darnold, that there was a guy from San Francisco, one of the coaching staff, that said his arm is like something I haven't seen in a long, long time. Like this.
Well, that's why he was the number 1 overall pick, was his arm talent and his height. His height. I mean, he can look over any line. He doesn't have the disadvantage that Bryce Young has, where he has to find a passing lane like you do in basketball, right? You got to look through these guys instead of over them. Whereas Sam Darnold's standing over everybody, and his shoulders are like 2.5 feet apart. His shoulders are a yard apart. Like, if he stood on a field between the 50, the fucking other shoulder would touch the 49. That's how wide his shoulders are. And he can just unload that damn thing.
His mobility is unbelievable.
That's the thing that keeps surprising me, is I'm screaming at the television. I'm able to say ball out, ball out, ball out 3 times, and he manages to miss 3 sacks. Like, 2 guys touch him, and he uncorks a ball right on target off his front foot for a first down. And it's just like, I don't see how he's doing this.
Oh, speaking of his arm strength, too, when you look at the games where, he's had that nagging, I don't know if you want to call it ankle.
He just keeps getting rolled up on in games, yeah.
No, and he comes limping back in, and then he can, a lot of that is just arm strength. To be able with...
It was all arm strength. That throw to Jefferson to beat the Seahawks was off the front foot, running forward, about to take a hit from his left. It was almost all arm.
So then I guess the question I pose to my brother then is, do you think this offense only works at an elite level with Sam Darnold?
Well, not only. We can't limit ourselves to, I guess if let's limit ourselves to the free agent quarterbacks. Whoever we could get to replace him next year.
Did you see the locker room?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The team is in on him.
Yeah.
It's over.
But Cousins had that too.
Not like that.
Not like
that. Not like that. He had more of like the how do I put this? The
funny
little, the funny little white kid in the black school where he's trying to be black and like whatever. And they like him. Like Sam Darnold, like he's their leader. Like
Kirk Cousins was more of a joke.
Good, but a joke. They like Kirko chains and stuff. Yeah. Like, he was fun, and don't get me wrong, and
he was great. But
to watch KOC sit in the background of that celebration with that little shit-eating grin on his face, like
he's enjoying every second of
I did this. Like I knew this.
Word is we can expect a KOC extension in the coming days. Probably through the playoffs.
I'll tell you this much. I'll bet you right now that the reason they're not even talking about it, no pressure on Darnold. If you sign him right now to a contract, say $30-40 million a year,
maybe it gets in Darnold's head that
he's got to
support his guy now because he's got a big contract. That's not his own. Yeah. I don't know about that. Sam seems to handle the situation about as well as anybody who can handle the situation. What was the year where we were amazing?
Whoa.
Case Keenum. Remember Case Keenum year?
I got to
the Minneapolis Miracle bailed us out. And we all kind of realized we had the greatest thing on turf in Justin Jefferson.
You can't say Sam Darnold can handle any situation. This is like the first situation he's been able to handle.
Well, we've seen him handle the on-field situations, I'll say.
The
on-field situations.
No, I'm saying this year, though. And
16 games, though. 16 games he has handled himself unbelievably.
I'm not.
That's why this motherfucker should be the MVP.
Pretty close. In a world where Josh Allen doesn't exist, I think he might be.
Every statistical category, he's better than Josh Allen.
Except for passer rating or QB rating, the one that takes sacks into account.
The Bills don't have a defense.
And rushing yards.
That's so.
And rushing touchdowns.
But it's because his name's Josh Allen.
Oh, Lamar Jackson's having a better season than he had in either 2 times he was MVP. He's not going to win the fucking thing. It's ridiculous.
No, but my thing is, if we didn't have our defense, do you think we're still like this? The Bills have no defense. They can't.
If we even lose 2 more games, if we're 1 game ahead of Green Bay, but out of it by now against the Lions, I'd say no. We're not even in the discussion. Sam Darnold is ignored, and he's probably not even being he's being considered for a multi-year deal, but it's the one we were talking about last week, the Baker Mayfield 3-year, $100 million. But he's in a new stratosphere now. He's beaten Jordan Love twice, pretty handily both times, and made it look fucking easy, and set a season high in passing yards against that Green Bay defense, which is supposed to have a good pass rush that I never saw all day.
So let's have that hard discussion.
That's my thing.
Yes, he's great, but are we going to pay him $55 million a year?
No, not that number.
That's what Jordan Love gets paid. You're telling me that Sam Darnold doesn't deserve more than Jordan Love? I just watched the game last night.
I'm just saying that that's not what we pay him. That might be what somebody else pays him.
But do we give him a hometown discount?
No, we give him a franchise tag. And we pay him $40 million next year to stick around, and then we, work in JJ McCarthy if he gets hurt or stinks suddenly.
I'm just saying, why not lock him up for a couple of years?
Hey, I was on the Daniel Jones fucking train a week ago. I was ready to give him $10 million to be the next Sam Darnold, and now I'm reneging and going back on the Sam Darnold train.
I don't know how
pay that man his money. He beat me. Check.
The only problem with the franchise tag, though, is that does limit what you can do next year.
Exactly.
Is that all that money's guaranteed then?
Yeah.
So then, that's off.
So even if you paid him 50, I would think if Sam took a discount, we're talking somewhere around 45 to 50 million a year.
And you hold on to McCarthy.
He's giving us a discount at that price. Or you trade McCarthy.
No,
but you can also
hold on to him because Jordan Love didn't play for 3 seasons and turned out pretty darn okay.
You hold on to him. You backload the contract because you're in a window of 2 to 3 years right now.
Right.
Once McCarthy gets out of his rookie deal,
and arguably once Brian Flores gets a head coaching job.
Fair enough.
His lawsuit would have to be settled first, I think, before he'd ever get a head coaching job. So I think we got maybe 1 year left of Brian Flores. Maybe 1.
And we're doing this all with old people on defense for the most part.
Yeah, not old, but undrafted free agents and old guys. Yeah.
Our secondary?
Yeah. No, you're not wrong there. Harrison Smith is still just completely necessary.
We won't have a guy in our secondary next year.
Yeah.
We're not going to pay Cam Bynum. I'll guarantee it.
You don't think so?
No.
He's terrific.
He deserves it.
I know. Byron Murphy deserves it. All these guys really deserve it. They've outperformed just about everybody on defense has outperformed what was expected of them, except for Dallas Turner.
And we have what? 1 true pass rusher, would you say?
I don't even know that we have true pass rushers. We just have guys that
Greenland's got to be
the quarterback.
I would say Turner. Turner's going to get some more playing time.
He's not. I don't know. He hasn't done much lately, but
he started off hot.
Uh-huh.
Well, Pat Jones got injured. I think he's going to miss some time. O'Connell said, which is
cool though.
Shit.
It's not cool though.
No, I'm saying it's cool how the roster is built, where the replacement is Dallas Turner, who's been turning it on lately.
Yeah.
So it's not much of a loss.
And from what I understand, Turner just needed to put on weight. That was the concern there.
I was upset on that no call, how Jones got hurt, though.
Which Jones? Aaron?
No. Who were we just talking about?
Pat?
Yeah. The blocker went right to his knees. I thought that was illegal.
If it's below the waist, it's supposed to be.
And then Harrison Smith,
unless he throws him down. If you throw
he didn't.
Okay, well, I didn't remember that at all. I just remember us getting called for one of those that wasn't one of those. The offensive lineman pulled down, on Harrison Smith. You're right. Yes. Pulled him down, and Smith only blocked him before the goddamn below the waist because the guy, punched him down basically below his waist.
So that's my thing is where it gets difficult. And I think this is it's a great problem to have on a team when you're comparing, okay, we could have a really good, great, I don't know if I throw him great yet. I mean, he's had a great fucking season. You could have a really good quarterback, but that comes at the expense of like who we could pick up in free agency to, our secondary is so goddamn old. Harrison Smith, I do hope we get him a Super Bowl because that'd be a great way for him to end his career.
He's a Hall of Famer regardless, but it would be nice to get him a ring.
So that's my thing. Do you trade what Darnold has done, hoping that O'Connell can replicate with a QB we drafted with a top 10 pick, and then you could supplement positions like DJ Reed, cornerback from the Jets, who's in his prime. Like we could buy some of the best premium positions. Like what? That's the trade-off.
Prepare for Flores' eventual departure.
You still could do that even if you sign Darnold.
By the way, the over/under for Sam Darnold was 3,500 and a half passing yards this season. I'm pretty sure he surpassed 4,000. He's still got a game to go too.
He's at 41-53 right now.
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
No, that's what I hate though is they just think he's like a little cutie, like oh yay, but like he's playing elite. They give Baker Mayfield all this, pride and credit and whatnot.
He seems to enjoy the pressure too.
He doesn't falter, man.
He's won about as many games, close games as Kirk Cousins did that season. We won 11 of them in a row. I mean, that's insane.
I wish we could get him on a Baker Mayfield deal.
That would be amazing. I would take that in a heartbeat. 3 years, 125 million. I'd go for that.
Yeah, the 30 draft class,
33 million.
Except Baker turns the ball over more, which would make Sam Darnold more valuable and worth more.
How much? I don't know if there's much to discuss about this, but we're talking about his play this year, which I do think he's going to get a huge contract. But how much does his past years bring him down? Like he's had one good year in a perfect system for him.
At this point, I think it's zero. I agree with Brad already. Yeah. I think now we just know the Jets and Panthers are fucking garbage and their franchises ruin everybody.
Did you realize 2 years ago, Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold were both on the Carolina Panthers?
Yeah.
And neither one of them did shit?
Right.
It must say something about the team. The New York Jets are just horrible. I mean, look at them this year.
Actually,
just a shitty franchise.
Franchise tagging Darnold will only cost $41 million.
Why not sign him?
Yeah, but then
long term.
Yeah,
because how much fucking cap space do we have?
That would
eat up over half of our cap space.
I know. I'm looking.
We're going to be up to like $87 million next year.
Well, you got to expect an increase in salary cap too, right?
Yep.
Actually, here's my educated take on what they're going to do.
Yeah, let us know once you get the number, Tony. I think
nearly there.
7.
I think they're going to do the same thing they did with Kirk Cousins. They're going to give him a number. Because I don't think Darnold does this for the Raiders. I don't like.
Nope.
So I think they give him a number and say, "Would love to keep you in Minnesota at this number." I think it'll be a fair number, but they're not going to give him Dak Prescott money.
New York, the Giants would be stupid to go and sign Sam Darnold for that money. They just let
Giants are winning games all of a sudden. So are the Raiders. What the hell's going on? They're supposed to be like tanking for the number 1 overall pick. All right, changing over to 2025. We got $78 million in cap space. It's 6th most in the NFL next year.
That's not bad.
Yeah, so if you sign him for a franchise tag, $41 million, that's $27 million to spend.
Yeah, so
31. 37.
So you don't franchise him because we got to get at least one shutdown cornerback.
That won't be enough to get what we want.
We need a left guard.
No, there's
no cornerback that makes over $30 million a year.
No cornerback?
No,
I wouldn't think so.
So why wouldn't we have enough to get a shutdown?
We got definitely enough to get a shutdown corner.
Yeah. We don't franchise him though. Show him respect.
I mean, then you're only doing 3 years. He's going to get probably 5 on the market.
Because JJ's got what, 4 years left? McCarthy? Those are 5-year rookie deals?
Yeah, well, 4 years after this year.
Well, yeah, so sign him 4 more years.
And then
sign him for 3 years.
It makes it cheap to sign McCarthy if you're going to roll with him in the last year of that deal, unless he balls out and becomes Jordan Love, which is kind of what happened for Green Bay. And now Green Bay is like the youngest team in the NFL as a result.
I'm still I'm not sold on Jordan Love. Like, he's good.
He looked kind of lost on the field, but most quarterbacks do against Brian Flores' defense for a while.
And that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm just like, he's a slow starter though. I don't like
he is.
that.
He is a slow starter. Yeah. But he's been pretty darn good in the late regular season and postseason. But I don't even think he destroyed the Cowboys in the playoffs. Like, that doesn't really surprise me.
I don't know. I'm just looking at numbers here, and Jordan Love is not even. He's barely cracking top
10.
20. No, he's not even. 25 TDs with 11 interceptions compared to Darnold's 35 and 12. He gets sacked a hell of a lot less. That could be
Everybody does.
Fine thing though. I mean,
yeah.
No, still have
it's a Sam Darnold thing. He's always had a high sack percentage rate.
I mean, our offensive line isn't the best. We need guard help, center help.
Funny thing is his sack percentage rate was higher with Darrisaw in there, and it decreased when they went out and got Cam Robinson, right?
Yeah, but that's also
tells me that he's adjusting to what he's got in front of him.
Isn't that about the time Risner stepped in too?
Could be, yeah. I think Risner might have been a little bit after that.
We've got that. I don't know. Our line, I don't think we're in a bad place with their line. It's a lot easier replacing a left or a right guard than it is trying to find tackles, and we've got the tackles for the next couple years.
I don't know, and maybe this is, it's turning. Maybe it'll turn into a little bit of college ball now that there's money involved in it. The Vikings are having fun. Like, that's what it's fun to watch.
We're having fun watching them.
I mean, this is the funnest team ever to see them doing the celebrations.
Oh, I don't know about that. The most entertaining team was that team that won those 11 one-score games a couple seasons.
No.
Entertainment-wise. I will say entertainment-wise, they played the single greatest game.
Yeah, if you feel like having a fucking stroke every fucking game.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
At every game this year,
they're having more fun than that team.
I am more relaxed during games now. I was pissed off at the beginning when we kicked that 57-yard field goal. Go for it, or punt the goddamn ball.
On that, Brad, I just didn't get to your text early enough.
But after they went up by 7 points, 10 points, I'm like, it's over. Like, I'm not.
Said it real early, and it made us all nervous.
Even at the end, I wasn't even nervous.
In fact, I didn't even get nervous until you said this game's over. Jordan loves seeing ghosts. And I was like, I'm nervous. We're going to fucking lose, aren't we? Then they went for 2 and got it, and I was like, oh, great. Now they can win the game with a fucking field goal. Fantastic. Oh, boy.
We need to just seeing right now, we're going to run the ball. We run the ball against them. Soften them up. Use all 3 of the running backs. Short pass.
Everybody we got.
You can beat these guys on the outside.
Well, that's the thing we seem to do worst. We run to the outside shittily. Mike said it during the game yesterday. He's like, that's our best run to the outside all season. Well, and he might not be wrong.
When we're running to our left side right now, like that, I could see when maybe Darrisaw was there, but he's still not even the greatest run blocker. I mean, I'd run to O'Neill's side. You got O'Neill and Risner over there. Like, anytime you go to
Those are the side that the screens work best too.
Yes.
Notice those guys are really good at blocking downfield. Yeah, and I don't know if it has anything to do. It seems like Jordan Addison is a pretty good blocker. Like the screens to his side open up nicely because he stands his ground and takes on a hat.
You're going to bring me into a point now is beginning of the year, we made comments about like he was just going through the motions. Yeah. Now it seems like Jordan Addison is
he looks like a totally different human being.
Yep. Fully engaged. Like his blocks, like Jefferson's even getting better. Yeah, the guy is the best wide receiver in the league, arguably.
I think
he didn't have a target until late in the second quarter. I mean,
you know what scares me though is that I think Jalen Naylor might be so good that Addison's tradable.
I don't know if you trade him.
The return that you can get for him.
Yeah.
To put Naylor at the 2, you still have Hawkinson as an option as a wide receiver. I mean, we're just absolutely loaded offensively. This is why people can't defend us. This is why Detroit's going to struggle against us in the passing game next week. Fuck the run. They don't have the bodies to cover Justin Jefferson. They need 2 of those guys all the time. Addison, Hawkinson, Naylor running wide open all fucking day.
Thing is, though, is
the quarterback. We know this because their best pass rusher has been out.
We have to, in my opinion, have a similar strategy as what the Green Bay Packers did against us. They wanted to run time off the clock.
Packers have a better run blocking offensive line. They have a better running quarterback.
That's good.
Running back.
What scares me is if we go into a pass-heavy game, we leave too much time on the clock. Even if we score, you saw the Bills game.
You're playing a possession game.
The Bills. In the second half, it took the Lions 2 minutes each drive to go down and score, which they are capable of doing that. We need to have some sustained drives, score some points.
You can do that passing the ball too, Brad.
Not our team.
Right. But, well, maybe this is the week we finally break out the fucking slants.
That's the other thing.
Fucking 3-yard slants that go for 7, baby.
We need to start running more screens to the left side because those guys get beat sometimes. So, like, the defenders are going to be like, oh, shit, I'm just beating these shitbags again.
Yeah.
And boom. Kind of like the touchdown to Akers yesterday.
You that shit out right away, though.
I mean,
it works better as a surprise late in games, as they called it. The fucking fullback screen. Perfect play call in that situation. You get to run the ball, basically, run the clock. CJ Ham's smart enough to stay in bounds after he makes the reception.
Oh, it's always fun seeing CJ get involved too.
Oh yeah, that guy's a fucking all-pro fullback every goddamn year because there's nobody fucking running fullbacks no more except San Francisco and Minnesota. Use check. It's the other one. That's the other all-pro fullback.
I just want to put him in 4th down a lot next week. A lot.
Put it on Campbell. Bunch.
Yeah, I want to see them.
You want to see us?
Yeah, I want to see Campbell go for it on 4th down, and we just destroy him. Like
he's gonna, and I think they've got a pretty good rate of success on 4th down. I can look that up. We do have the internet. I did a piece on the Minnesota Wild and how they have managed to keep winning, well, at least steal points every once in a while, despite massive injuries. Let's see. Most 4th down attempts with 144 since Campbell took over in 2021. They've converted 55.6% of them. Wow. It's only 10th best in the league, but I guarantee that no one's even doing it on that level. Yeah, that would be a pretty good guess.
Well, when they do it is just some of the times it's just dumb on your own 30-yard line, like against Vikings when they did that. Like,
yeah, but if it works, then you're calling him a genius. That's the edge. He's borderline insane, borderline genius.
He is 2 more of those away in the playoffs
from being fired
and being like the Chargers coach.
Probably. Yeah, you're probably right. If they lose an NFC Championship game because of a fake punt, yeah, maybe. Which happened last year. You could argue it kind of happened last year.
They were killing him. The game was over. And they let him back in by bonehead plays. I mean, it was over. They were dominating. And I mean, they're struggling right now against the 49ers.
They are. I'm having trouble keeping the game on while I'm talking to you fellows. We're live at Foul Play by Play on YouTube.
I don't know. It's going to be tough. Like we talked about letdowns and stuff. If for some reason we can't pull out a win, I'm going to be so bummed.
They celebrated that game like they'd already won the division. That was a concern.
No, they were celebrating for Sam Darnold. Because Sam Darnold, you know, most passing yards of his career in a single game. He broke some personal records. I think by no means they were like celebrating because O'Connell after that, you know, gave the whole 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. We're not done yet, you know. And who would have thought? Who would have thought that Detroit would have floundered, gave us a chance to get back into this? I mean, 5-6 weeks ago, we're sitting here thinking, shit, man, this sucks.
We're going on the road to Tampa. We're going to have too much fun, get too much sun, and end up losing in the first round of playoffs again.
I don't want to play any one of these teams on the road. I mean, that's how.
I mean, I'd say the Buccaneers are probably the scariest team to play right now. They got everybody healthy. They put up freaking 40 points all the goddamn time against everybody.
I'm afraid to go into Philly.
Well, I mean, yeah, but
obviously. I mean, that'd be NFC Championship game.
Yeah, it's not a possibility. We'll get the Rams or we'll get the Buccaneers, I think.
And that's I do not want like that's why like
the one team lost to in the regular season besides Detroit and the guy who's got all the weapons in the world, Hall of Fame wide receivers, and is a gamer.
Now, if we win tomorrow, though, the Super Bowl goes through
Sunday.
Minnesota, though.
Yeah, it sure does, and I'll be here for it. You guys are coming out, huh? We could go watch the game downtown. It'll be fucking crazy.
Oh, I think I would travel out to Minneapolis for that.
It would be fun. It's going to be cold. The last one that was here, it was like fucking -30, but it hasn't been cold yet this winter, so shouldn't be bad. Plus, we got the Skyway.
How freaking crazy is that, though? We're 3 wins away from the Super Bowl. Like, who would have thought that?
Yeah.
Well, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Great.
No. If we Detroit, you win the NFC divisional game, you win the NFC Championship game. Then we're in the Super Bowl. 3 games.
4 ways.
4 away from winning. And I just
don't want to just get there.
Any of the teams that are going to come out of the AFC.
Well, I'd be happy getting there. I'm just saying. I've never seen it in my lifetime.
Yeah. It would be nice to see it.
I don't know. Like, I'll tell you this much. Like,
don't get greedy.
I don't know, man. Like, we had a worse defense when we played the Bills and beat them. We had, I'd say, questionable, equal quarterback.
We're already calling Sam Darnold Kirk Cousins.
Oh,
I don't think that's fair.
He's better.
Kirk Cousins had a career of not missing a single game.
I could care less.
Darnold's done it 1 season. I think
one
that's
season on a good team.
Is arguably a Hall of Famer. We're not calling Sam Darnold a Hall of Famer.
What has he done? He's won 2 primetime games.
It doesn't
Has
matter.
he won a game in the fucking
look at his
playoffs?
stats.
I could care less. Fuck stats.
Well,
that's what I'm going to say.
He's going to be a Hall of Famer.
That's why MVP. You can't just look at stats on.
They can't stop anybody. Detroit.
No,
they're fucking cavernous. Like there are holes everywhere.
We're 3.5-point dogs too.
How's that possible? I'm going to pound that shit. Let me hold on 1 second while I lay some bets here. Holy cow. 3.5-point dogs? We can cover that.
So
we only play 1-score games, and it's going to be a 3-point game. One way or another, it's going to be a 3-point game.
That's what I'm saying is how are we a 1.5-point favorite against Green Bay at home?
Well, they called that spread was actually quite accurate, Brad. Yeah.
The spread was fair enough.
They're pretty
we
good
destroyed
at determining that, aren't they?
I mean, they knew that we were just going to let off and let them score at the end. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
well, what did the first game end up? If we were up 3 scores at one point, probably in the fourth quarter.
We were up 4. We were up 28-0.
It was all of a sudden we were shitting britches.
Which is a kind of like that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe that's why offensively we keep we probably don't have it at full throttle. We're like 3/4 throttle to try to put a team away, which I like. But when you're doing that, you got to run the ball a little bit. You got to take some clock. You can't just go, a completion, then 2 incompletions and punt the ball, give it back to the team. You got to run some time off that clock, especially when you're up 3 scores. I mean, it's similar to the Bobcats. The Bobcats in the semifinal game could have ran up to score, and they didn't. They just – the game's over. The game was over at halftime. They're like, yep, we're just going to chill. We're going to go. We're not going to lose the game. And I think that's kind of what the Vikings do is they know that they can flip that switch back on. You just hope, that the switch always turns on, Which,
yeah, that's the problem is what if you blow the breaker and all of a sudden you can't remember how you play offense or defense. The defense is the same thing. Although I think that drive that Green Bay found success and scored so quick. Brian Flores brought a blitz just about every single time on that drive.
Yeah, and we were in he
was leaving the secondary out to dry a little bit, and he was just being a little bit too crazy. Just a little bit too crazy. Again, the line between genius and crazy, very, very thin. They're walking it. Kevin O'Connell less so than Brian Flores. Brian Flores that was nuts. 5 guys, 6 guys, 5 guys, 6 guys. It's just like, oh God.
With nobodies though, man. Like honestly, with nobody.
No, I'm not calling Van Ginkel nobody or Cashman nobody. Those guys were talented free agents that he managed to bring the best out of.
Do you hear anything about them?
But we should be talking more about them.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Do you hear anything about them?
Not on shows. I don't watch as much as you do, though.
Even when you read about shit, they're never named. It's Flores and his defense. It's not talking about these guys and how good. Which don't get me wrong, his scheme helps these guys out. I mean,
I see a lot of how important Harrison Smith is to that defense, though, which still surprised me, just given his age, because it did not look like that when he was out, and now it looks like that again. That's crazy that he might actually play longer. I thought he was going to retire like last year or the season before.
Okay, so that's another question. Like we could possibly get him for a deal too next year.
Well,
I mean, if we take him to a Super Bowl and whatnot, like it could be.
Oh yeah, come along for the ride one more time.
Then maybe you can give Cam Bynum some money. I don't know what he's gonna demand.
He really likes Minnesota
free agency, but
for what it's worth.
I mean, we got that other. What's that other dude? The guy that plays everywhere. Why can't I think of his name?
Metellus.
Yeah, I mean, he's not as good as Bynum or Harrison Smith. He might be more versatile though.
He's a lot younger though. I mean, my thing with Metellus though is he's pretty goddamn good last year. He's a stud this year. Like he's getting better. He's a smart fucking player. Like this is a difficult system to play in.
Yeah.
And Metellus is one of the anchors of that system. Like no, defense next year is going to be interesting because especially when we lose Flores, like it's a matter of when, not if anymore. Like he's going to become a head coach again. I think.
Why not pay him?
Well, we can pay him all we want.
I mean, that'd be
just pay him head coach money.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you there.
Oh, I think
salary cap.
Yeah, I think Ziggy would do that. I don't know if Flores would, though.
But Flores wants to be a head coach.
Yeah.
I mean, he wants redemption. Yeah, of course he does. He's been shamed this year. He wants redemption, absolutely. Vengeance, maybe.
No, that's
and potentially could have been right about Tua the entire time.
That's like asking like a basketball player, do you want to be Michael Jordan or Steve Kerr?
Yeah.
Like, we'll pay you like Michael Jordan, but nobody cares about you.
That's a great point.
Steve Kerr's a better coach than Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Michael never coached.
Yeah.
But he did try to put together teams.
Well, I
would still rather be Michael Jordan. I mean,
yeah.
all of Steve Kerr's rings doesn't matter to me. I'd still rather be Michael Jordan.
just to let you know, I've got no updates on the Twins front. Ever since that big Giovanni Moran trade.
It sounds like we could end up getting that Colomé.
Who?
Colomé? Daniel Colomé, yeah. Is that his name?
I think he used to, the pitcher.
Yeah, he's old as sin. Yeah.
He used to be with the Twins years ago.
Yeah, he was. He basically got his career back because of stint with the Twins. And then went on to Baltimore and pitched really well. Although he's only pitched like 80 innings the last 2 seasons.
That's all you need.
He had a great strikeout rate.
That's why I also like I'm all in on the Vikings this year, like 100%. We need to go. Let's go. Like,
have you heard about this? The potential of Calais Campbell being waived by Miami if they miss the playoffs, and Minnesota being able to pick him up and add him like that.
Be interesting.
It'd be great to have a guy that good on your. Yeah, give me that dude. He's been great forever.
Didn't he took a hometown discount to go back to Miami too, didn't he?
Yeah, but he's on a 1-year contract and he could retire next year.
Well, we never put a number on it. Everybody's talking, so let's do it right now. If let's play the game of the Vikes are going to give.
Let me get the calculator out.
The Vikes are going to give Darnold a deal, and then we could cement it in stone now and see who's closest.
All right.
How much money per year, Brad, is Sam Darnold going to make? Let's assume they give him a 4-year deal.
Assume a 4-year. Okay.
I don't think we go 4.
No. Well, give us the deal at the years and the number then.
I like how we have to come from like a place of reality like Tony does. Why would a quarterback who's 27 sign just a 3-year deal? Like he's in his prime.
Well,
right
that
now.
would be a good time to actually become a free agent again.
Yeah,
Is that 30?
31, 30?
Yeah.
I mean, you could be coming, in your prime. I mean, that's when a lot of quarterbacks really excel too.
He'll be able to sign probably the longest deal of his career at 30.
I'd give him 3 years, $150 million, all guaranteed. Backload it though. Backload it for the 3rd year.
That would be the to Deshaun Watson. That would be the second biggest deal with fully guaranteed money.
What about you, Mike?
I think actually that's probably how you make that work is fully guaranteeing it.
I give him,
or you make some of it signing bonus. I'm not
that
sure.
That seems like a lot to me. I don't give him that much. I give him basically the franchise tag number and a little bit more per year for 3 years. So $45 million, 3 years, $135. And if he says no, see you later. Daniel Jones, McCarthy, we'll roll with them because Kevin O'Connell's the stir or this goddamn straw that stirs the drink.
So we're
Fuck
saying
that up
this,
every time.
We're saying this. We're in the playoffs. We're saying this with 1 game left. We're saying this before we.
This could all change again, but
seed.
Yeah, the number gets bigger the better if he wins a playoff game.
If he wins the Super Bowl, I mean, mine is off based on
cards off the table. McCarthy's expendable. Who gives a shit?
Keep him. He doesn't cost you anything.
He never leaves. You give him fucking 7 years.
It'd be like when Favre was going deep into the playoffs and Aaron Rodgers was there. The Packers had no.
Here's my Super Bowl contract for him. $280 million over 7 years, guaranteed.
Oh, wow. The only wrinkle that we keep forgetting about, though, like it's complicated, is Daniel Jones came here for a reason. I think he came here to be a backup next year. There's no room for him to be a backup if we've got both JJ and Darnold.
Nobody's going to sign fucking Daniel Jones, so nobody's going to pay him.
Somebody will sign Daniel Jones. They'll give him
Someone will sign him. Absolutely.
They'll give him a 1-year prove-it deal.
Give him the
like
Sam Darnold deal, $10 million.
I could see maybe the fucking Niners giving him
Sure.
that deal.
Sure.
Here's
I
the
don't-
deal. You aren't
Yeah.
going to get shit if we trade JJ McCarthy. You're not going to get anything. You're going to get maybe a 5th round pick.
Oh, you could get higher than that. You're telling me a 1st round draft pick turns into a 5th round draft pick?
What
Because of a
number
knee
was
injury?
Trey Lance drafted at? Top 10, wasn't he?
No.
He was drafted, I think, the 4th overall pick, I think. 4th or 5th.
Was he?
The Niners traded a lot of fucking capital to go up and get him. I think they traded 2 first
You're
round.
right. He was the
future
3rd
picks.
pick overall in 2021. Damn.
I think they traded 2 future firsts.
And what's
And
wrong with him? What's wrong with him? Cooper fucking Rush is
Oh,
playing.
I
with
just
Dallas.
don't think he was never very good. But yes, he did sustain a knee injury early in his career.
Dude, he looked fucking good. Trey
He
Lance
looked pretty
real
good
damn
against
good.
FCS opponents. That's not the same
Carson
thing
Wentz
as
is the
playing
same fucking way. He was pretty goddamn good in the NFL till he got
behind
hurt.
one of the greatest offensive lines we've ever seen.
Okay.
He's coming out. JJ is not like a slouch, though. I think if he'd have played one more year in this year's NFL draft, he'd probably be the 1st round pick.
Oh, absolutely.
1st overall pick. If JJ would have stuck in college one more year.
100%. Except he went in the quarterback heavy draft, which
Good for the Vikes.
he didn't get a play this year, which sucks for him. Everybody else played. Their market. Jaden Daniels is off the charts. He should have went number 1. Caleb
Yeah,
Williams
we all agree that. We agreed with that back when it happened.
fallen. Michael Penix, too small of a sample size.
He seems to be managing the game for
He's-
someone who's brand new to the game.
But this is what
Okay, like you're basically starting all over though. Why start all over? You have somebody in front of you that basically you drafted out of college is Sam Darnold, except he's got more experience, he's older, he's more mature, and you won the fucking lottery. You won the absolute lottery on this guy.
I would just because I'd love to roll those dice and see if O'Connell really is a fucking quarterback whisperer.
Let's see how far this rabbit hole goes. Can we make Daniel Jones an NFC championship quarterback? Can we make JJ McCarthy a Super Bowl winning quarterback with this mastermind? Problem is like it takes both the masterminds. Kevin O'Connell ain't shit without Brian Flores.
So okay, what
He's not going to score enough.
So then I wonder if Darnold would work with you then. Here's a hypothetical. Hey, Sam, we drafted this quarterback. You're good. We got you back on track. We're going to sign you for X amount of dollars. You're going to have a no trade clause in your thing. Who do you want to go to and play for? We'll leave it up to you.
Oh, I think that's
Because he's like I'm saying, like
I think San Francisco swoops him up if we don't sign him. I think he's surpassed Brock Purdy already.
Oh, 100%.
Oh.
100%.
So I see them as the top contender for his services, and that's a great place for him to be.
And guess what? Purdy's hasn't got paid yet.
I don't think Purdy's going to get paid.
So then get something from him. Hey, we'll sign you for this. But then again, he's got a good relationship with the 49ers. Like, he might not want to do something like that. I mean, maybe you fucking go nuts.
Oh, I think
sign the fucker, then trade him to goddamn San Francisco and get some shit.
Yeah, so we can get our asses beat by San Francisco.
Why?
Because we just gave them a better quarterback than they currently have.
You guys are on the JJ McCarthy train.
I mean, we haven't seen JJ McCarthy. I don't know what to think about him, except I know he does yoga, and I think I like that.
My thing is the window for the Niners is closing. They've thrown a lot of money under the cheat code of a QB
They might
contract.
be on the Daniel Jones bus next.
Well, what I'm saying is their cheat code time is coming to an end. They put all their cards on the table. They got really goddamn close. Like, they've got to start again. I mean, if you want to go QB heavy with a deal, then you're going to lose a lot of the pieces that make the Niners the Niners.
Yeah, you're not wrong there.
Kansas City must have like the Contra cheat code then.
Kansas City has the best quarterback.
The cheat code. Yes, the best quarterback we've ever seen. That would be it. It's like Tom Brady doesn't even exist no more. That's how good Pat Mahomes is.
I mean,
they have, I think, the only better coach in the NFL than Andy Reid, than O'Connell, and the better quarterback.
I'm not ready to put O'Connell up on that mountain yet. He's okay.
I am more than
I'd
impressed.
still like to see him like pull away from a team once.
Yeah,
maybe I saw it once or twice this year. That's it.
God.
I mean, I do not want to let Sam Darnold walk though. Like you have to sign.
I don't either, but I just don't think it is in our plans. Like if we give him $45 million a year, that leaves us what
45.
40 it leaves us $33 million to work with in cap space next year, and we're gonna need probably about 15 of that for just one member of the secondary.
Who has competed every year mostly in the NFC North for as long as we can fucking remember?
The Vikings.
The Green Bay Packers.
I think the Minnesota Vikings too.
Yeah, Minnesota Vikings are good at getting to the playoffs. They don't win though. They don't make it to the Super Bowl. They don't make it to the NFC Championship.
That doesn't matter if you don't win at all. Nobody remembers who made it to the playoffs.
So that's what I'm saying is we have McCarthy for another 4 years. You signed this guy. You have to. If you let him walk.
Oh, no, I don't think at this point they're going to let him walk. It's going to be a decision of whether or not we franchise and trade him. I don't think we franchise tag him and play him that year. I think if we franchise him, he's being traded.
Our cap space with fucking Kirk Cousins was like $28 million, and we kept re-signing that asshole.
Yeah, that was stupid.
That's what I'm saying is we have money now. We can spend half of our money and still get pieces. Get a $10 million a year cornerback. It's
$10 million a year?
It's better than the bums we're paying right now.
I want a $20 million a year cornerback, and then I want like a $15 million a year guard.
Yeah.
That's our fucking line.
Yeah.
There we go. That's $35 million.
McCarthy.
That's $35 million. We can pay him $45 million a year.
Yeah, we can. That's what we can afford, and that's about as high as I'm willing to go. And I don't care how many years he wants that deal to be. If he wins the Super Bowl, he can stay forever. I don't care. You can stay, Sam, until you're fucking 41 years old. 12 years, $45 million a year.
Let me quick interject this point real quick. This is the funniest thing about being a Vikings fucking fan is if you look at, oh my God, over the last decade, the quarterbacks we root for, just talk about oddball freaking
Randall Cunningham at 41 years old.
No,
Brett Favre at 40 years old.
I'm saying post the glory days. I'm talking freaking
Jeff
Darnold,
George.
just Cousins. Like, you get excited bringing this mediocre quarterback in. Which, I mean, at that time,
we had about 3 weeks of Josh Dobbs hysteria.
Yeah. I mean,
they were fun games to watch.
Oh, God, those were tough to watch.
Yeah, halftime. Yeah, maybe that's time. You guys finish up the Vikings discussion. I'm going to put some hot water on and have a hot chocolate.
That sounds yummy. No, this is a team like any other that they've had in a long time.
Oh, no.
All their key pieces are signed except a quarterback. And you could put an asterisk next to that because we have a rookie quarterback that we drafted to be the franchise. So, and who knows? You never know what Sam Darnold wants.
No, all I'm saying, the nice thing about offensively, your plan of extending Darnold, giving him 3-4 years. I'm saying it has to be within range, though. I think he needs to give a little bit of a discount. And when I say discount, like 45 to 50 million, nothing north of that. But I mean, we essentially then are almost not fully injury proof at quarterback, but like Darnold goes down, you've got your first round pick to come in and see what he's made of. Like, but I think we've got our a lot of core pieces to move on to next year. We're getting to a place though where we've got some holes that need to be addressed. I mean, we've been plugging and playing. I mean, we can talk the secondary game forever, but like we need to address that sometime. We haven't done it in the draft. We've tried in the draft. Every secondary piece we've drafted since Kwesi took over has been a bust.
Yeah, Lewis Sign is like our biggest cap hit, dead money next year. $3.6 million we're paying that guy to not play for us.
Andrew Booth, we took
Andrew
a gamble
Booth's
on
the
him.
second one on that list. Yeah. Kyrie Jackson's the third one, but that's no fault of anybody's.
I would have liked to see him play. He was going to be good too.
The top four are all secondary, members of the secondary. That's how bad that's gone.
No,
But
I mean,
we hit the jackpot with Byron Murphy. I gotta say, that guy's fucking terrific.
And who knows? I mean, that's the thing. You create a culture there, and that's if. Yeah, I guess it depends. As long as we've got Flores,
that's
I mean, we're gonna have people that want to come play. So
I would imagine so. Yeah, everybody gets a hefty raise by being in this system.
no, but who would have thought?
Go ahead, Mike.
Who'd have thought? This is just a slight transition since we're talking about core pieces going forward. And maybe this is, injury plays into it a little bit. I still don't understand the lack of usage. Hawkinson needs to, with what we're paying him and what he's going to be making next year and the year after, like he should be getting the Addison numbers. Like that's $16 million next year. That's not. Yeah, it's great having a top 5 tight end, but like, what's the point of paying one if you never?
Because he's always open. Did you see that?
He sure is.
What was the one play? Was it? I can't remember the play where I texted you guys.
He was open by a mile.
Everybody was open on that play.
Oh yeah,
all four of the wide receivers.
Well, it's gonna happen every once in a while, you know.
Except Darnold picked the best one though. I mean, to his credit, he's always looking downfield and then short. Like,
yeah.
So I mean, that's the thing. Like, and that's where Hawk is usually, except 2 minutes left, 1 minute left in the half when he hit him for that 30-yarder across the middle. Like, he's gonna be the third or fourth, option.
Let's rewind.
It would be a fucking shitty thing to be a quarterback when you only have to go through sometimes one of your progressions and you get to throw the ball. The next time you go through 2. Shit. 3 times a game I had to hit my 4th progression. I mean, as a quarterback, you would love that. And that's a testament to the offensive weapons we have on this team, which is amazing. I mean, if Justin Jefferson could get open every single time, nobody else would see the goddamn ball. I mean, he'd have 500 fucking catches a year. Like that's how it works. Like
that's why I love these discussions, because this is all I do in my freaking MLB The Shows. You're looking at numbers and everything. Like Tony did bring up, and I don't know if I'd want to lose him because I think he could be a number 1 on a team, Jordan Addison. What would you get back for him, though? Because we've got control of him through 2027. We'd have to make a decision in 2027 because we did use a first-round pick on him.
You get back whatever you wanted because he'd be a number 1 on any other team.
Well, let's just look. We'll see this offseason what like T. Higgins does, what his market value is. I mean, that's the thing.
That's a pretty good comp, but he's not cheap for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
But you're never. Wide receivers look at it. You never get that much back for him, though. I mean, Amari Cooper in his prime, what did Cleveland trade for him? Even though Cleveland's made some bonehead moves. I mean,
no, but Tony is right, though. Like, you're trading money, though. You're talking about $4 to $5 million cap hit, like for the next 3 years to have a number 1 receiver. That's like getting Sam Darnold for $10 million in 1 year. Like that's a value. Like that's why, like in baseball, that's
but as
3,
you're not going to get a first rounder for him.
Tony needs to sit down. I think you get a first rounder for Jordan Addison.
Why?
Why
Why
would
not-
you?
Why not just draft one?
Because you don't know if they're going to pan out in the same way he has. Jordan Anderson's a fucking stud. I mean, he should have made that catch. That was a perfect ball to him. He should have one-on-one like that going up. You got to make that catch.
I would say wide receivers are a pretty for sure hit in the first round. We've drafted a few of them that are stupid. Troy Williamson.
Tony, Brad doesn't think we could get a first-round pick for.
Oh, he's out of his mind.
Yeah. What do you think we get for Addison?
You get a probably, I would say like a nickel corner, a number one pick, somebody that's like third or fourth on the depth chart for a secondary player and a first rounder.
No way. Why would you pay when you could go draft a wide receiver in the draft?
Because you can't draft Jordan Addison. It doesn't exist.
Brandon Ayuk is a pretty good stud. Nobody
Maybe
giving him anything.
Maybe that you've got a sure thing.
Brandon Ayuk was a sure thing. You can't say he was not good until he got fucking hurt.
We're talking about a draft pick. A draft pick is not a sure thing. Just because you go in the first round doesn't mean you're going to be great. They thought fucking Jamar Chase was going to be better than Justin Jefferson. Turns out Justin Jefferson's pretty much better than Jamar Chase.
It's a coin flip.
It's not a coin flip.
It's a coin
I'd say that Burrow's a better quarterback than Sam Darnold, and Justin Jefferson's making Sam Darnold look fucking just about as good as fucking Burrow is. So that would make Justin Jefferson the better fucking wide receiver. Also, T. Higgins looks pretty good some of the time. Can somebody compare T. Higgins to Jordan Addison's numbers this year?
Jordan Addison's way better than Higgins.
I would agree. But the youth is also something that you're paying for. That's why I think you can get a player ready to play, a first round pick.
I think
I might be crazy, but
I think you are crazy.
God, what the Vikings need is that I was listening to a thing on the Gophers the other day. They've got a defensive back who's sticking with the Gophers because they're gonna let him play wide receiver as well.
Okay, Here they are. Yards. Jordan Addison 875, T. Higginson 858. Average 14.1. Addison 12.4. Higgins. What's this? TDs. Addison has 9. Higgins has 10. Long 69-42.
pretty good comparison.
Big plays, Addison has 13. Higgins has 12.
Really good comparison.
Yard game, Higgins 78, Addison 62.5. Fumbles, Higgins has 1. Let's go with yards after catch, 211 to 225 for T. Higgins.
It's basically but Addison is 24. Higgins is
Actually,
25.
no,
25.
Only 25.
Yeah.
Now that we've been talking about it and that the Vikings window is opening up, so we're talking years now. A window, I don't know when it'll close.
I can't believe we're talking about an open window. That's so fucking awesome.
Oh, we were talking about it during the draft. This was our dead. I think we're 4th or 5th in dead cap money this year in the NFL. Like, we had to clear the books.
Addison's 23.
Start afresh. So I guess why not keep Addison when you're paying him peanuts?
Yeah.
Right?
During the window.
Yeah.
I don't know of a better.
You got plenty of time to trade him. I'm just saying.
You don't get a first rounder. You don't get a first rounder.
I think you do. If we traded him this offseason, you get a first rounder and then some, I think.
I would agree.
Because that team's getting 3 years of a legit number one.
At roughly $5 million over 3 years. Wait, no, they get the next 2 years and a club option at 2027, which they'll pick up. So
yeah,
it's 2, 3, 4, probably $7 million or $8 million over 3 years. That's dirt cheap.
That's whatever their plans, whatever the Vikings' plans are, though, it has to include buying a cornerback in free agency.
Well, and I'm not. Maybe we just signed Byron Murphy again. He's 27. Sign him through 31.
Yeah, and we still sign. I want an elite cornerback on this team, though.
And Harrison Smith comes back for a couple years at $5 million a year instead of 6.5. He plays till he's 38.
There's no way he can play the snaps he did this year next year.
He doesn't have to.
I don't understand how he's done what he's done.
I don't either. The man, he's the hit man. It's incredible.
I think there's a stat like he's played like the second or third most snaps on defensive end.
Oh my God.
Fucking insane. Like
at his age, yes, it's incredibly insane. And also, this is not your prototypical safety that hangs back and fucking provides double coverage on wide receivers that are smaller than him. This is a guy who's up at the line of scrimmage constantly stopping the run.
The best one is the Tennessee Titans sent a second-round pick to the Falcons for Julio Jones.
But we were pretty.
They got 1 year though, I think.
Yeah, and Julio Jones was hurting at the time for multiple seasons. Yeah, I don't think that's indicative of anything at all.
Drop it, you fuckbag.
Uh-oh. Chiefy's getting into something. Chiefy's eating.
I thought he was talking to a Detroit Lions receiver.
I know. I was like, is the game back on? I can't.
The other position, which is going to be interesting, which I think they'll draft to fix this possibility, but those running back
or on the Vikings.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh yeah.
No, I just you trust me, you're not going to get a first-round pick for a wide receiver.
I was just throwing it out there. I didn't mean to have us talk about it for 15 fucking minutes. I mean, you guys take the shit way too far. We're way over time here. It's 8:45. We've been talking fucking Vikings for an hour and 15 minutes.
As we should.
We haven't even started the show.
As we should though. Like this is the thing.
How did we not start the show?
I forgot to do the intro.
Oh my! Well, then do it now and then edit it back.
Yes, that's the idea. It's got to be on there at some point, but yeah, it doesn't matter when. I can do it after the show if I want to. It's just. It's for the people listening to us live, Mike, who might be out there someday.
We're running on a thing with the Vikings right now that is just out of control. I mean, this is.
I agree. It's maybe the second best season I've ever seen.
I'm telling you, the running back we're going to draft, Ollie Gordon II.
Dude,
Oklahoma State.
If that Heisman runner-up falls to us, oh my God, how is that? That can't be. That's not happening.
I've seen so many mock drafts where they have him following to the end of the first round. I just would find that asinine.
Yeah, give him to me. I like that. Yes.
Why draft a running back though? Running backs are.
Oh my God!
Get the best one in basically the history of college football. Yeah, you take that guy.
Oh, I agree. I'm saying like. Why draft him early though? Running backs are running backs.
Yeah, that's what they say. But we've seen the difference between Aaron Jones, Cam Akers, and Ty Chandler is. It's considerable.
But what I'm saying is, there's a handful, and I would say 3 running backs. One's hurt, and I've said this before. There's 2 running backs in the league right now I would want on my team. And that is Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry. Other than that, they're all interchangeable. And every single one, you got to find one that fits your scheme.
You don't think the boy from Boise State is comparable to Derrick Henry?
He very well might be.
He's a fucking workhorse.
Yeah.
He plays in a shitty conference.
Yeah, the competition. We're going to see him against good competition, though.
I mean, it'd be like saying, like,
no, it is not comparing a quarterback at that level to a running back.
I'd take Adam Jones. Adam Jones.
Yeah, and you'd be crazy to do that because
as a freshman, he almost scored as many touchdowns as that guy did.
Yeah, but he's way too small.
Adam Jones is leaving the Bobcats as well. That's sad news.
Is he?
Yeah, BJ Barry. I think UCLA is going to pay him money to come to UCLA, I think.
Really?
Scott Trey is going to be gone. But hey,
we got Vegan for 4 years, I heard.
Vegan's here. That's huge.
No, that is huge. That's I see there's opt-outs though. Like
Sure. There has
there's
to be.
always opt-outs.
Yeah.
Everything. There's
No, but-
buyouts.
Is there an amount? Do we know how much he got?
No,
I'm curious.
it's
it was released
relatively it's team friendly, but it's got a lot of incentives. So if he does years like this, he makes a crap ton. But
I like that. Earn your pay.
no,
I'm just glad he's staying.
he's created what's going to turn into a dynasty, and I want him to see it through. Like,
Yeah.
we're going to be the new NDSU, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. Although I talked to my uncle about this, I think we're very close to just having one college football league. Very close.
No,
I think so.
I don't think.
I think the transfer portal opens up everyone to everyone. It just makes it easier for teams to get better faster. And why is that? I mean, there's nothing limiting the amount of money that the city of Bozeman can spend on their fucking football team. So why can't they have Cam Ward? Just like Colorado can have
because
the Heisman Trophy winner.
Is you're talking about college football programs that are bringing in NFL money. Like, that's why. And I'm sorry, the Bobcats are not.
Well, there are plenty of big money boosters that came out of Bozeman Engineering School.
Yes,
That's all I'm saying.
Not to the level that like Alabama has. I mean, Alabama, just the TV, they're just on a different level.
Alabama's not in the playoff.
I don't want this to turn into basketball because.
Well, yeah, I don't watch men's college basketball anymore as a result of the one and dones.
That's what it would. The Bobcats would never be relevant again.
Yeah,
we could maybe our best hope would be turning into like a Boise State.
Fuck, we could probably but I mean, there's two teams in the pack right now, and we could win that. We could win that conference. Yeah. Brad, how fun was it watching both the Wild and the Timberwolves come back and win games late?
Like it was good. And then to watch the next, when was it? When did I watch the Wild game?
They would have been Ottawa on the 27th.
Yeah, it was Ottawa, and then the T-Pups were playing the Spurs.
I'm telling you, man, the Timberwolves have figured out how to play defense in the clutch moments of games. I'll give them that. They're finally giving help to Julius Randle. They're bringing the nearest, perimeter defender to help him out so he can focus on defending the paint. And that's worked.
Why I just got to feel like thankful for injuries at, being a Bobcat fan, no major injuries. Being a Vikings fan this year, no major injuries. Timberwolves, they're just struggling. They got a new core. They're working through stuff. But to see the Wild come out to such a hot start, and now they're just – they played some good games. Like, don't get me wrong.
They've stayed afloat despite missing arguably 3 of their top 6.
But
maybe the best player in the league.
Well, yeah, and then watching the Ottawa game, it's like, oh, shit, that head that's bobbing up and down under the water, is it going down? And we're going to go like on a – I mean, it's good that we came out to this thing and got so many points.
Here, I'll explain the Ottawa game for you, Brad. They had 34 shots on goal. Gustafson saved 32 of them. The only 2 he didn't save were basically one-on-ones with the goaltender. Our best shot blocker by far, Jake Middleton, has been out for quite some time. The man has 65 blocked shots this season. The next nearest person, despite him being out as long as he has been, is 20 behind him. That's the problem. Too many shots getting through on Gustafson, making it a little bit more difficult for him. But
isn't that basically how the stats are on our whole team? We have a couple guys that have.
Well, the thing that's been the most surprising to me is that our defenders are scoring at a rate that I didn't expect. They're a top 10 scoring defense, from the blue line. So that's been a pleasant surprise. Gustafson's rebounded to basically be what he was 2 years ago. He was the second best goaltender in the league that year. Spurgeon has come back strong, and he's provided a lift offensively from the blue line as well. Brodeen is back. Eriksson Ek is back. That gives us a huge lift on the faceoff dot. That's another thing that troubles us. That's why I think Kaprizov's possession metrics are a little down is because when he's on the ice, we're seldom winning a faceoff if there's one being had. So Eriksson Ek will help with that. We'll start off with possession more often. We'll get more shots on goal as a result. Marco Rossi is a bona fide stud top line center now. Like, that happened in a hell of a hurry. Like 2 years ago, they were talking about this guy not even becoming nothing. And
he drinks a handle of Carlos Rossi wine every day. That's why.
he doesn't drink at all. That's why. He goes to church and he prays and he plays. And,
a hockey player that doesn't drink or get in fights? Come on now.
I know. Yeah. It's but he missed his goddamn sister's wedding to train in the off season in Minnesota to stay here. He missed playing for his national team to stay here, and he's put in the work for the Wild, and now it's paying off, and it's going to pay off for him because he's going to get a nice contract. Because now basically you've got 2 top line centers to spread across 2 lines, and Eriksson Ek and Marco Rossi. That's special. That's what you need to win championships. That and the top guy, Kirill Kaprizov.
Matt Boldy needs to step it up.
Matt Boldy's been fucking terrible for about 5 games. I'm not kidding you. Like, you look at his advanced metrics, it's bad. Real bad. His expected goals above average or expected goals has nosedived the last 5 games. He's taken penalties like crazy. Just silly plays. But again, you get him one-on-one with the goaltender in any situation, the man's going to fucking finish it. That's a tough guy to be hard on, but I feel like he's cost us a couple games with his play lately. And it's bothersome, but who are you going to put in there? That's the thing, that the talk on the town is via MinnesotaSportsFan.com, where I'm now writing, is that they're going to be in on an old flame, Granlund, on the trade market to be a left-handed shot and potential center, depending on the line. But this guy's a top line scorer. I just don't see how that happens or where we put him if everybody's healthy. Yeah. It really just depends on what the health situation is, the trade deadline. Also, the money doesn't make any sense. I think he's due like $5 million, and we'd have to work miracles to make that happen. I think I like this team as it is, which is shocking to me because I did not see. I mean, if Jake Middleton isn't an aberration, a lot of people are saying he's just been real lucky this year, but you don't block 65 shots on accident. So I don't care what his fucking plus minus is or how many points he has, which is still leading the team with 11, tied with Brock Faber on defense. But the man fucking gets in the way, and that's a problem for everybody in the playoffs. And that's the guy you need to have on the ice in the playoffs, because we don't know if Marco Rossi is smaller than me, guys. He's 5'9", 182.
That's all you need.
That typically doesn't play well in the playoffs. It's a much more physical game, especially in front of the net where he's operating, the high danger areas, as they're called. So we're going to find out this season, it sounds like, because this team ain't going anywhere. That was a statement win against the Dallas Stars. They hadn't done shit in Dallas for fucking ever. And they managed to come back and win that game after being down 2 in the third period. That's incredible. That makes you feel a lot better about the loss 2 days later against Ottawa at home. But it's hard to win without your top players, and it's starting to show. Like the armor is cracked. But Kirill Kaprizov isn't going to be a long-term thing, so we can expect him back relatively soon. And
I tell you what a day in Minnesota sports. You've got arguably the biggest game of the year for the Vikings happening at 3:25. 3 hours after that, you have the Wolves playing, and then in St. Paul, you've got the Wild playing. What a day.
Every once in a while this happens for us, where all teams are competitive simultaneously. It's pretty great.
I bet you downtown Minneapolis made some money that day. Think about the tickets.
Right.
I mean,
my aunt was at the game. She had a blast.
What you had to pay to go to the Vikings game, and then 6 blocks down the street, Victor Wembanyama is in town. I mean,
right.
interesting.
Mike and I did that once. Mike, didn't you and I go to a baseball game and then followed up with a basketball game the same day?
Yes, we did.
We had great seats to that basketball game too.
And never been to an event where they're running drug dogs when you walk into a stadium.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
I saw a thing today, and I don't know if it's true, that at the Packers game, Minnesota it was the first stadium to ever hire ATF people. So they had like snipers up in the top.
What?
Why?
Big stadium.
Oh my God.
There must have been some sort of threat made, right?
I don't know. I don't know if it's true or not. I mean, you can't believe everything.
Well, yeah. Well, where did you get this? That's my second question is, who's your source?
It was like on Microsoft when you have like the news thing.
Oh, the newsreel on Microsoft. Okay, so we don't know the source.
It's pretty. A lot of the sources on that are pretty shit. But
yeah,
I should have looked at the source. It was interesting though. Like,
yeah, you read the headline and then you're like, oh damn, but you didn't click on the story.
no,
Yeah,
because it wasn't.
I would
like
have handled it too. I'd have been
it
like,
wasn't
that
that appealing to me. Like it was like, yeah, who cares?
Okay, so here's what the Wild have done against the top 3 teams in the Central Division heading into that Dallas game. 0-13-2. So yeah, that's per Joe Smith of The Athletic. That's pretty miraculous to pull that out after. I still don't think we're Winnipeg. Winnipeg's had our number this season. It doesn't matter, whether we're healthy or not. They just seem better. They've got the better goaltender. Connor Hellebuyck's running away with that award. He's easily the best goaltender in the league this year. Beating that team's going to be really difficult. We struggle with the Stars every year. I don't know if it's a thing with the franchise moving and it's just in our heads. If it's a Minnesota Vikings thing, I don't know what it is. But they're pretty good. The Kings, pretty good. Colorado, pretty good. It's still going to be a hell of a fucking gauntlet to get out of the fucking West. I'll tell you that much.
I mean, but that's the thing. When you start as hot as they did, getting a point basically every
Right.
every night out, that's.
But what I'm saying is, with the injuries now, maybe we are just the 4 seed.
I agree.
Maybe we host 1 round of the playoffs rather than 2. So, but that ain't so bad.
So let's go back.
That's better than what I would have expected out of this team this season.
Well, you were pretty confident. When was that?
When we were all at full strength and
3
we
weeks
had
ago, Mike,
we had the Hart Trophy winner. Yeah, I was really confident.
We made the Dalton Vickers bet. Mike must have had enough.
I guess so. He doesn't like talking hockey.
No, like after watching him more, like I could see him. I don't know, like this Vikings team though, each week and week though, like I keep like thinking like, holy shit, we're almost to the playoffs, but we're an injury away from being fucked.
Mike's computer just shut off.
Being just destroyed. Oh, it probably terrorist attack up there.
Hey, yeah, he is in missile silo country.
Maybe
Timberwolves still have won 3 straight clutch games against pretty good opponents in their conference, and those are all big wins. So I think that team might have turned a corner. I still am really disappointed to see that there are certain parts of the game where we just go cold and we just keep jacking up threes as if they're going to start falling, as if we're Karl Anthony Towns. And why we're not getting to the foul line. I saw the first half one day, we had 6 foul shots. 6? That should be double. We should have a dozen goddamn foul shots per half. That's what I'd like to get to. Probably going to be more likely to happen in the playoffs just because everything's more difficult to come by in the playoffs. And there are more mid-range jumpers. There's more going to the paint. It's a different style of play, just like it is in hockey.
But we don't have those typical down low players though.
Hey,
to get the fouls.
Did you not have your computer plugged in?
No, it just randomly shut off.
It was running pretty slow, man. Your video was fucked up the whole goddamn show.
Well, I hadn't had my computer on for like a week and a half.
Oh yeah, vacation.
Yeah, so I'm on the phone now.
I need to do the virus scan, bud.
Well, yeah, after he got back home, it's probably like Pornhub fucking scene.
Well, I'd like to thank my co-hosts Bradley and Michael Haas for joining me on this episode of Minnesota Foul Play by Play. You can catch us at Minnesota Foul Play by Play on TikTok and at Foul Play by Play on YouTube. I've been your host, Anthony Variano. Thank you for joining us.
Wait. Last thing. The 49ers are beating up on the Lions right now.
They're up 7. That's not beating up. Detroit can score in 40
beating
seconds.
up like physicality.
Oh,
like, it's like
that's not that surprising.
Like,
and perhaps that's reflective of Detroit's lack of size. I don't know. Are they small as a defense? Is that why all their guys are hurt?
Well, there's nobody left on defense right now.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, I think
they should be able to move them then. These are all reserves, basically. They're playing.
Well, I think what Brad's getting at, they might be taking something out of Detroit's game here,
and it might help us out.
Oh yeah,
I might take the Vikings by 6.5.
Well, I was gonna say 13.5.
Should I just do it? Should I?
Crazy.
All right, that's what I'll show you the ticket.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. If you're gonna do it. Do it for $1, not for $100.
Ollie will have the Vikings 13.5.
No, they haven't won a game.
The Cats
13.5.
That's been our show. Don't take Brad's betting advice. Love you.
You want to win.
Bye. Later.